Straight ahead on 12 News, a proposed apartment complex that has some New Hope residents upset and council members trying to set the record straight. Then, a woman's worst fear realized.
And unfortunately, I mean, my cancer was graded at a stage 3.
See how North Memorial is helping breast cancer patients get through the ordeal. But first, a Brooklyn Park woman's fear amid a fungal meningitis outbreak.
I feel mostly sad and scared. Very scared.
12 News starts right now. Waiting and worrying. A Brooklyn Park woman who received a steroid injection linked to the fungal meningitis outbreak says she might be infected.
Kay Halusak is one of hundreds of Minnesota patients who have been tested for fungal meningitis. So far, 3 cases have been confirmed, but officials say that number could grow. Halusak tells our Renee Bonneau she hopes she's not next.
I don't feel good, I don't look good, I don't have any energy. Something surely is strange.
Kay Halusak says she's not the same woman who walked into medical advanced pain specialists in Maple Grove last August to get a fairly routine steroid injection. About a month after getting the shot, her health took an alarming turn.
I was vomiting all night long. I couldn't urinate. I was delirious. My speech was more slurred than what it is now.
She had pneumonia, a bladder and kidney infection, and terrible pains in her lower back. And she had stroke-like symptoms, which were apparent during our interview.
I know what the words are, I just can't get them out.
Halusak's daughter took to the web to find others with a similar reaction. Then a possible answer came in a phone call.
I was told by someone from MAPS that the batch that I had received and injected into my back was definitely infected. My God, I went crazy.
She had a spinal tap done to test for fungal meningitis. Preliminary results were negative, but further tests are being done.
My slurred speech, my sweating, my dizziness, there's a lot of symptoms that are very similar to meningitis.
Halusak says she does not hold MAPS responsible for her condition. She says it's the company that produced the tainted steroid that's at fault. Still, she's not wasting her energy on placing blame.
Good Lord, I just hope I get my old self, my crazy, troublemaking self back. That's all I ask.
Halusak says she will have a brain scan done Friday to determine if she had a stroke. The Centers for Disease Control say several patients have suffered strokes as a result of the meningitis. Mike and Alex, Halusak says the only thing she is certain of is that her body is not doing the right things, the things that they should be doing, and she says she is overwhelmed with fear.
Wow. Just have to wait and hope for the best, and we wish her the best.
Yeah. Thanks, Renee. A Minneapolis man has admitted to burglarizing homes in Golden Valley and in Minnetonka. Jeffrey Bomer pleaded guilty this week to 6 counts of residential burglary. Investigators identified him after he dropped his prescription asthma inhaler trying to flee homeowners during a break-in. According to court documents, Bomer entered homes through windows, breaking them if he had to, and he told police that he preferred homes on wooded lots because the trees made it harder for people to see him.
Not in my backyard. That's what some New Hope residents are saying about a proposal to bring a high-density apartment complex to their neighborhood.
The site at 62nd and West Broadway is largely vacant and has sat empty for years. City officials believe the Compass Point apartments might be just what that area of New Hope needs.
I can see this changing for all the bad. Not good.
New Hope council members wanted feedback, and they got an earful.
I really do not see how having more traffic and high-density housing and that big building and that little space is going to improve the quality of the neighborhood.
At issue is a proposal for a 68-unit rent-controlled apartment complex called Compass Point along an 1.5 acre spot at 62nd Avenue and West Broadway. The city-owned site is mostly vacant now, with the exception of an 8-plex that would have to be taken down. Nearby neighbors want no part of the proposal.
I've got a nice quiet backyard, if this goes up, I won't have a quiet backyard either.
Neighbor concerns range from noise and traffic to vandalism. But New Hope Mayor Kathy Hempkin believes those issues are largely unfounded.
It's going to attract the 25 to 34-year-olds, and we need those. These are high-end apartments. That's the upside of this. The downside is it's a big building.
The mayor says there's room for discussion. No plans are set in stone. But residents' suggestions for residential housing on the lots are unrealistic.
And I think people need to continue to give us feedback on what they want and what they vision, but we have to be practical too.
For 17 years, some of these lots have sat empty without any interest from developers. Now city officials have one at the table and a proposal some residents would rather not consider. The apartment proposal is far from final approval. The developer still needs financing for the project, and if that doesn't happen next month, plans will be put on hold for another year.
For the first time since 2002, New Hope City Council members have voted to approve a pay raise for future council members. The pay raise would take effect in 2013. Under the approved changes, the mayor and council members would receive about a $500 hike in pay next year and a nearly $400 pay increase in 2014. The mayor currently earns more than $10,000 a year, and city council members receive about $7,500. The salary increase would put New Hope in the middle compared to other cities its size. The Osseo fire chief says a gas valve left slightly open in a science lab may be the cause of a gas smell at Osseo High School Tuesday afternoon. The odor forced the evacuation of the building and caused the cancellation of evening activities. Inspectors declared the building safe about 4 hours later. Still ahead, the diagnosis no one wants to hear.
We'll show you how North Memorial is helping patients deal with the difficult news of having cancer. Then in sports, Maple Grove's girls soccer team hopes to build on a great regular season as they get set for the playoffs.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast.
Nearly everywhere you turn, there are bright pink reminders that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland introduces us to a woman who has breast cancer and the medical professionals who are helping her every step of the way.
We're serving about 8,000 patients on an annual basis.
Situated in the basement of the Oakdale Medical Building is North Memorial's Hope Chest Breast Center.
We do want to make the patient experience a remarkable experience.
The center provides screening, education, treatment, and hope under this one roof.
It provides a very nice service for them to have this as their more or less one stop for them in their breast care.
I first felt this isn't a death sentence.
One of those patients is Andrea McClelland, who was diagnosed with breast cancer on May 18th.
It was a real simple day. I'd made an appointment with a nurse practitioner to have some lumps checked out in my left breast because they were becoming very painful.
That appointment led to a mammogram, followed by a biopsy.
I always think fear of the great unknown.
And the eventual diagnosis.
I'm young, I'm in my 40s, I'm healthy, there's no cancer in my family. I don't drink, I don't smoke, so that was the absolute last thing on my mind, was cancer.
Yet she admits that she did not perform the recommended monthly self-examinations.
And unfortunately, I mean, my cancer was graded at a stage 3. Had I been a little bit more aware and not maybe, it would have made a world of difference.
However, one person who's made a world of difference in Andrea's life is Diane Solars-Furley, North Memorial's so-called nurse navigator.
I just feel that there's a need for the nurse to be as informative and as kind and compassionate as possible, because these are people that you're dealing with.
As a nurse navigator, she guides breast cancer patients through every step of the journey, providing not only information, but compassion and support.
I always try to put myself in their shoes, and I like to treat people the way I would want to be treated.
It has helped put Andrea's mind at ease during what she calls a big hiccup in her journey.
It's amazing. It's like having a fairy godmother, kind of, and just knowing she's there, and that makes all the difference in the world.
In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Staff members at the Hope Chest Breast Center recommend women age 40 and older get an annual mammogram. However, women with a family history of breast cancer should get checked out more often. Well, coming up, an honor for a familiar face at local city halls.
But first in sports, Breck faces arch rival Blake for a spot in the state girls tennis tournament. John Jacobson is in next.
The wind is up. We even got a little rain to make things even more comfortable, I guess, for people outside. Must mean soccer playoff
Soccer
time.
season, right? Yeah, this is when it gets fun. You got to bundle up and play hard. And one team hoping for a big postseason. It's been a very productive season so far for the Maple Grove girls soccer team. As Jay Wilcox reports, they hope to carry that momentum into the postseason.
It's been a season to remember for the Maple Grove girls soccer team. They started by claiming the Northwest Suburban Conference title, the school's third ever in girls soccer.
Yep, we talked about it earlier in the season, and that was definitely our major goal of the season, and definitely another goal is to make it to state.
We were excited, the kids were excited. First time we've won in a few years, so it was a nice little hardware reward at the end of a well-played season. This is what I expected out of this group, and those expectations are always hard to meet them, but this group has definitely risen to that level, to being able to meet some pretty high expectations, and they look forward to it.
Maple Grove enters the playoffs ranked second in the state and seeded first in the Section 5 AA tournament. After ending the regular season by beating rival Osseo Saturday, they have to turn around and face the Orioles again in the playoff opener Tuesday night.
Osseo's always our rivals every year, and they always come out strong. So hopefully we can come out just as strong as we did last time. And
then especially as a in-district rival, game means a lot of extra things to people, and it's never easy to beat a team twice, but especially 2 days apart is going to be tough. So we know it's going to be a very physical battle, but still looking forward to getting the playoffs started.
With the #1 seeding comes a little added pressure, but also the chance to play at home throughout the sections.
Yeah, we're trying to get lots of fans out to support us too, so that'll be a big factor. And when we get fans, they definitely help out and cheer us on.
It's so far so good for Maple Grove, with what they hope is plenty more to come. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Maple Grove and Osseo battle at 7 o'clock at Maple Grove High School Tuesday night. The rest of the local teams in Section 5 AA also start play tonight. The Breck girls tennis team had a familiar foe standing in the way of a trip to the state Class A team tournament. Breck and Blake meeting in the Section 4A championship. #1 singles, Blake's Claire Carpenter in the far court against Patty Zhao. Carpenter chases Zhao side to side, a forehand and a backhand, and then rifles the backhand winner. She dominates the first set. But Zhao rolls in the second and also pulls off the third set. With points like this, Breck Zhao wins 2-6, 6-love, 6-2. At #2 singles, Sunny Tang of Breck in the near court against Jane Fraley. Tang's cross-court forehand sets up an easy volley winner into the open court. And Tang rockets to the win, 6-1, 6-love. At #2 doubles, Breck's Anna Zumwinkle and Kendall Kazakowski are in the far court. Blake's duo of Kate Fraley and Izzy Swanson take the point and the match in straight sets. Blake wins 4-3, and they'll be back to defend their state title. Another local squad made a section final in Class A. Providence Academy advanced to the Section 5A championship before falling 5-2 to Annandale. The Section 5 AA and 6 AA tournaments resume Wednesday with semifinal and final action. Maple Grove's football team has been a big success story this fall. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jay Wilcox introduces us to a versatile performer for the Crimson. Here's a sample of what you'll see.
He's certainly a jack, or in this case, Brycen, of all trades. Maple Grove's Brycen Wojta does a little bit of everything for the Crimson.
Wide receiver. Cornerback. Quarterback. Punt returner. Kicker. I've always grown up being that guy who plays defense, offense, kicking. It's just everything I've loved to do. I just always like to be as involved in the team as I can be, just to help us win.
Anytime you can have a kid that can kick, and pretty much he's a good punter too. He haven't done that, and he can pass, and he can play DB, and he's a great playground kid. And I think for our personality and what we do, we kind of want him to have fun and sell. That's kind of a big thing for us. So he's a perfect fit for what we do. And
you can watch the rest of the Brycen Wojta story and all of the week's top prep highlights on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday here on Channel 12. And look at sports. Maple Grove having a great season in football.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Now to Local Vote 2012 and 2 more candidates running for City Council in Brooklyn Park.
Today we hear from Central District candidates Billy Bishop, who focuses on the budget, and incumbent Mike Trepanier, who focuses on the livability of neighborhoods.
Hi, I'm Billy Bishop. I'm running for Brooklyn Park City Council, Central District. My main concern is the budget. Our budget has went up over 20% over the last 4 years from 2009 to 2012. The administration budget has went up over 100%, or $1 million in 4 years. Our city council budget has went up 30% over the last 4 years. This is crazy. The city council and administrator are supposed to watch our budgets, but their budgets are increasingly hugely. And it's time for us to get our fiscal house in order. We need to focus on needs, not wants. And I would appreciate your vote November 6th, and thank you for your consideration.
Hi, I'm Mike Trepanier, Central District Council Member. One of the most important issues in Brooklyn Park is the livability and safety of neighborhoods. The impact of foreclosures and rental homes is huge. Toughened codes and inspections has really helped. Brooklyn Park is considered a national model on how to deal with foreclosures and stabilize neighborhoods. Fire and medical response time has been cut in half. Police protection is one key to livability. Over the past few years, we've added 20+ officers, and 3 more are scheduled in 2013. But intelligent policing is also very important. By design, we use the officers we have in a focused way. 2011 had the best crime rate in 20 years. Thank you.
On Wednesday, we will hear from the 2 candidates running in Brooklyn Park's East District. Still ahead, an honor for a familiar face at New Hope City Hall.
We're back in just a minute. And finally, a special honor for a common visitor at New Hope City Hall.
If you read the local newspaper, you have certainly seen her name. Sue Weber was honored Monday night for her years of covering local news for the New Hope Golden Valley Sun-Post. Weber recently decided to retire. She'd worked for 36 years for the Post newspaper under 4 different owners. And she says local news was something that stuck in her blood.
We had an editor that used to say there's a story behind every door, and it's really true. And it was usually the small stories that you didn't think were going to be big that ended up to be huge.
Isn't that the truth? Weber listed the closing of Robbinsdale High School in 1982 as perhaps the most memorable story that she ever covered in that long history of news. Wow. So what does she do now? She says a lot of projects that she has have been put off for years, but she won't rule out freelancing. So I guess once a reporter, always.
Always a reporter, that's right.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next.